What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the stream. Today we're here to react to One Piece chapter 1172, and feels like I've barely seen you guys over the last few months because we've had so many break weeks. Obviously we had one last week, so hopefully we're going to be back into the swing of things here now that the holiday seasons have kind of come and gone. Maybe we'll have, 3 chapters in a row like we usually do, so hopefully that's going to continue. But we're here today for a chapter. That's what matters. So everyone, welcome to the stream. I'm super excited to see this one. Obviously, last week, or 2 weeks ago, last chapter, we ended, the flashback ended, and we got to see Loki use Niflheim, the ice attack on the Draugr. So super excited to see kind of where that goes, or if we're even gonna get an explanation. Oda might kind of keep, let that mystery linger. Cliff, you're distracting me. Guys, Cliff hasn't barked all day. And then the second we start the stream, he's got to go, like, protect. He's like, all right, Dad's busy, so it's time to play defense, I suppose. But the door is shut. He cannot see the window now, so he will relax. Thank you, though, Cliff. Thank you, Cliff. But yeah, guys, super excited for this one. I see there was a handful of donation messages and all that, so we're going to go ahead and get into that. Quanadin, member for 20 months. Thank you so much, as always. You said, wow, 20 months already. That is kind of crazy. 8 out of 10 chapter. I feel like that's kind of low for you. Well, no, yeah, I mean, you're usually around 9 or so. Sometimes you've given 10s, and I usually agree with you. So whenever you say 8 out of 10, and since I agree with you, I think that's kind of low for our normal ratings. So now I'm kind of intrigued by that. Also, Reese Lucas, Lonely Mage, member for 38 months. 8 out of 10 chapters, same rating as Quanadin. One worthy of playing Overtaken to. Well, you know what? I do need to pull up some, I do need to pull up some music. I'm actually, I don't know if you guys can see it or not. No, okay, yeah, I didn't know if it was on, like, that little window I'm showing. I was actually doing some deck building last night for One Piece TCG, so I gotta close some of those tabs. But yeah, I'm trying to get into, the TCG a little bit. I mean, we've been opening it forever, but I'm trying to start playing. So I was looking at, some Foxy deck options, but now let's see if I can pull up some music for myself, not for you guys. Is the lo-fi playing? Let me look. It is. Okay, you guys got that music at least. What do I usually? This one is what I usually play. All right. Thank you for the recommendation, Lonely Mage. I got some music going now. Appreciate you for that. But yeah, thank you for all your support. Over 3 years is crazy, Lonely Mage. 25th Slayer, member for 8 months. Like the stream, 25th. I appreciate you. Please listen. Please listen to 25th Slayer. Make sure you like the stream if you haven't already. And also Lonely Mage with the 5 gifted memberships. I didn't even see that till I just scrolled down. Seriously, can't thank you enough for all your generosity, Lonely Mage. Thank you. I'm good suggestion on the music. That I didn't have any going. I'm glad you brought it up to remind me. So I'll let you know how accurate that was at the end. If it was if I agree, if it matches the moment. RL Pulsar, member for 19 months. Appreciate you. Or Mick Pulsar, right? I have the @ names, so can't see the display ones, but Subdak, your most recent emu video was fire. Dude, thank you very, very much. And thank you to everybody who watched that video. I'm a big fan of that idea. I feel like the last, couple months, this usually happens around winter. I feel like the algorithm, slows down a little bit. I think it's tied to the fact that there's not as many chapters. So just in an overall sense, there's just not as many eyes on One Piece on YouTube. So, the videos don't get spread as much. But if you haven't seen it, or you haven't even heard of it, definitely go check that video out. I'm a big fan of that one. So thank you very much, Mick Pulsar. Seriously, I appreciate you. I see some of you guys saying Cliff is hyped for the chapter. He just wants to say hi. He does. He does. Cliff, so, I have 2 dogs. They're both very friendly, but they're friendly in different ways. And Cliff is like the love bug, cuddler of the 2. So he definitely wants to be seen and heard because he loves getting attention from anybody. So definitely that's what's going on. Kuya, member for 28 months. I agree, it's an 8 out of 10 chapter, solid for sure. Everyone's been saying 8 out of 10, so now I'm super intrigued to see what makes it an 8 out of 10. Alexander Ivanov, aka Ivankov, member for 5 months. Like the stream, we hear. Dak, hope you're doing good. Thank you very much, bro. I'm doing all right. Feeling a little tired today, to be honest, but now we're waking up now that the stream has started. Yeah, I woke up. I didn't get a lot of sleep last night. I just couldn't fall asleep, so I'm a little slow today. But like I said, we're here for the chapter now. So plus the Cavs play tonight, so I gotta wake up for that. You know. John Stoops, member for 21 months. Work Friday like permanently now. I'll always stop in though. John, I appreciate you for making any time. I mean, I was gonna say it's like that's unfortunate you work Friday. I feel like most people do. So like, you know, I mean, it's unfortunate anybody has to, but thank you for even making any time here. Hopefully work's going all right though. Hopefully it's not too stressful. Hopefully you are able to stick around because we are about to get into the actual chapter here in a second. So I'm super excited for this. I know you guys keep saying 8 out of 10, which is kind of low, but I want to see why it's an 8 out of 10 now. Because I feel like usually I come in and it's like 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10. So we're gonna see what's going on here. But thank you guys, everyone, again for all the donations. Seriously, means so much. Can't tell you how much I appreciate it. And yeah, let's go ahead and get into the actual chapter. Where am I at? Okay, over here. The setup was a little bit different. I was like, I don't know where I'm looking. All right, here we go. Chapter 1172, The Elbaf I Admire. All right, is this going to be like a... I get the vibe that it's going to be like Loki's going to have a little speech or something. You know, he's going to talk. I don't know. We'll see. Cover request by Pizza Maru. Some swans rummaging through Bon Clay's cosmetics and putting on makeup. I love this. I mean, Bon Clay, I was actually, I was talking earlier about making a Foxy deck for One Piece TCG. And Bon Clay is like one of the more expensive cards for the Foxy deck. So I actually was making some offers on his cards last night. But very cool. Glad to see him. Cool to see the swans. Obviously, Bon Clay and swans, they like go hand in hand. But let's get into the real chapter here. The lift ascends to the Sun Realm. All right, so now we're seeing the other group, not the, not Loki after the aftermath. We're seeing everyone else who's going up, other than Luffy and Loki. There are 3 foes up there. Their objective is clear. They plan to abduct 10 children from Elbaf. Also, real quick, I love how the gondola system here that's taking the ship up. I love how there's one ship above the other ship to act as like a roof, right? It's like a ship sandwich. I think that is just hilarious. They plan to abduct 10 children from Elbaf and take them to the Holy Land. The children will serve as living shields, leverage to turn the warriors of Elbaf into battle thralls. All right. 3 humans did all this? To think that even the giant warrior pirates or Yasan could stop them. Sorry, I have no excuse. Which obviously that was from Colin, right? Because Colin was being threatened. They may be kids, but they're still giants, right? How can 3 people our size move them? One of the 3 is a woman with a strange arrow ability. The children are unable to resist her. I don't know why, but I love this little picture of Gunko. Like the spiral of the arrow is cool. It makes me think of like hypnosis, which like it's not really, but at the same time Gunko's making them listen to her, so it's kind of like hypnosis in a way. They just keep marching toward the West Village Harbor. It's all over if they reach a ship and escape to sea. It'll all come down to that. Why can't we just take back the kids? One of the 3 is a man named Summers. I know a bit about him. He became a briar man after eating the thorn fruit. He can freely manipulate vines with sharp thorns. The vines can become transparent, and he's wrapped them around the children. So we can't grab them? That's so cruel. Indeed, they're as tough as iron. If we clumsily try to get the kids to break their front line formation, they'll turn into pin cushions. It's been set up so that they'll hurt each other. And on top of that, the last one seems to have the power to make nightmares come true. The things the kids find scary have come to life to prevent their escape. So real quick, I just want to say, like, I can start to see why you guys are saying 8 out of 10, because this is almost like a recap chapter or like a setup chapter, right? Like they're like Oda is having Scopper explain everything. Like, we know this pretty much, but everyone else needs to get clued in. So I think this might be part of why it's 8 out of 10. But I will say that I do like this just from the perspective of, like, Scopper, like, he obviously knows a lot about these guys, so it makes sense that he would be the one breaking this down. So I do kind of like that we're getting this from him, just because, like, he knows so much. He should definitely be the one to kind of lead the charge, and so it is kind of cool. But since we know it, you know, this reminds me a little bit of during Egghead. Do you remember during Egghead when we got like I think it was like a recap of the Ohara incident, like in the middle of the arc, and that was like for the same thing. Like, we already knew that, but Oda's like just refreshing our memory for readers who, you know, don't digest this every day and stuff. So that I was kind of like, oh well, that's, you know, for us who are deep into it, that's like unnecessary, but you know, whatever. Oda had to include it at some point so everyone could get clued in, but the kids may appear to just be waddling along in broad daylight, but it seems impossible for anyone to stop them. The intruders have set up some sort of twisted game with their 3 abilities. And remember, Shamrock did say that they could make a game out of this early on in the arc, so we'll save those kids no matter what. Seems like the quickest solution is to target the 3 ability users. Even if they're as immortal as they claim, there should be a way to take them down. We could try trapping them or crushing them, maybe even eating them. Sounds promising. Let's do this. It's the Sun Realm. Prepare to disembark. So they're already up here, apparently. And Goldberg, I don't know if this is like, if this is, you know, just some randomness, or if Oda is literally giving us some kind of like template for beating them. Like for example, are one of the God's Knights going to get trapped? Is one going to get crushed? And is one going to get eaten? Like, it reminds me of that, I think it was Igaram who was like yelling to Vivi, like, what if you get taken away by a giant bird, or this, or this? And it's like those things might actually be happening, right? It feels like this is sort of similar. Let's see, so now they're at the top, and now they see all the nightmares and stuff. Damn, it is like, it's crazy. I love when Oda gives us these like zoomed out shots of everything going on. Also, I see one guy down here that I don't think I've seen him before. Whatever, I'll get to it in a second. So here we see like a knight and a dragon facing off. I don't know if that's also supposed to be some foreshadow for like if Loki really does have the Nidhogg fruit, because this is the Nidhogg like that the kid dreamt up right here, and the Nidhogg's going against a knight guy. I don't know if this is Oda, you know, telling us something, but and then down here so the one guy that I saw that I didn't really recognize was this, like, I don't even know, this bulky giant looking dude in the back with the long beard. I don't know if we've seen him before. It looks like he's in a sort of in a Nika pose, and there's Nika behind him as well. But I also noticed that the Nidhogg here is facing off against a giant bird, and in the Norse mythology of Ratatoskr, the eagles and the Nidhogg oppose each other. So again, I don't know if that's something we need to be thinking about, but this is beyond anything I imagined. Are there no limits to these nightmare monsters? Look at that. Is that the great Eric? Dory and Brogy were aboard earlier, leading the charge with their crew, but they were shot down by those monsters. That can't be. Is that you, Haradin? Kashi-san. Oh, Kashi? Hey, shout out Kashi. It's been a minute. I'm glad you're okay. I was in the realm of the dead. Tell me what's going on. You won't believe this. Listen closely. Dory and Brogy are trying to kill Elder Jarl? They all went crazy. Please, you've got to stop them. Kashi-san, how about the children? Ripley and the others went after them, but we've had no word on their status. The kids may have already reached the harbor by now. Hey, Roto, listen. What? Bjorn was taken? This is bad. My little brother is one of the hostages. Did we know that Bjorn was Roto's little brother? I don't think we knew that, did we? That's cool. I like getting these little familial connections, because like Ilva is Jarl's like great-great-granddaughter or something, right? So I like that there's like little connections to these kids. And obviously Colin is Scopper's son. So, like, I like that Oda's making the kids even more important. I'll join you. Me too. Hey, Kashi, which way's the school? Nami-san and the rest should be close. Can you see the fire? It's coming from both the school and the library. Why is it on fire? All right, so they did start burning those down. Anyway, you said Dory and Brogy have gone crazy? That's right. Please hurry. Elder Jarl's in trouble. All right, now we got another map. I love when Oda does the maps of the different areas. So Saul's right there. So Jarl's over here in West Village. So, oh my god. So this is like, there's so much here. Oh, and look, looks like the arrows even go to the different panels. This is, Oda, this is one of the coolest map situations you've ever done. I just made the connection there that, like, he's stretching the arrows out to the different panels to show, like, what's going on in different places. That is so cool. I love this. I mean, he's probably done something like this before, and I'm just not remembering it, but this is so cool. All right, so over here at the end, Walrus School and Owl Library. See a lot of... Are those just bodies on the ground, it looks like? And obviously everything's burning. I bet you these are like the teachers, probably like Ange and Mr. Wolf and stuff, maybe. And then... Oh, I see Crap Cafe in the chat. Crap, how you do? Or should I call you Crap? Mr. Cafe. Mr. Cafe, welcome to the stream. I just looked over to see what everyone was saying about this map, and you're the first one I saw. Totally needed out on that map too. Yeah, this is... Maybe you meant geeked out on the map, maybe? I don't know, but I needed this and I geeked out on it, whichever one you meant. I love this. This is awesome. This is so cool to me. It's going to take me a second to analyze here, because I'm really trying to soak this in, because this is like... Elbaf's so big, I feel like it's really important to keep an eye on, like, where everyone's at, right? All right, so the library, we see everyone over there kind of just watching. I assume those are the teachers. Near the library, the Straw Hats. Oh, so these are the ones that got captured and stuff earlier. All right. Haven't seen them in a minute, have we? The library's burning down. I doubt Chopper will be back anytime soon, and Brook's gone off somewhere. He must be up to something. We need to get rid of these arrows before the kids are carried off. Master Dory, Master Brogy, I can't stand you seeing you like this. That's I love Usopp freaking out about that. Makes sense for him for sure. All right, and so they are a little bit away from the school. Next, we're going up here to... Oh, okay, I see it. That little icon with, like, the little demonic silhouette back there with the pitchfork. That is definitely the Domi Reversi Giants. Kill Jarl. Please stop, captains. Open your eyes. The Domi Reversi possess giant pirates en route West Village. And then we're looking at the child rescue team with Ripley, and she's over near the Reversi Giants. Okay. Hang in there, kids. Be gone, you vile creatures. All right, so they're adjacent to the Reversi Giants. Where are the kids? Okay, kids are next one. Hostage group. Okay, so they are... Oh, they're at the end of the branch near this ship. That's right, because they were, like, walking the plank earlier. Hostage group. We're heading towards the harbor, aren't we? If we get there, no whining. We are warriors of Elbaf, but we're not warriors. I love this... I love the dynamic that Oda has created with Colin being like the captain of the young giant warrior pirates. In a sense, they're like not really pirates, but that's, I think Oda's sort of building that. So now Colin has to act like a brave leader of sorts. That's so cool. That is awesome. He's getting some training in real time to potentially be our apprentice eventually, maybe. So I just want to look one more time. So we got the libraries over there. There's the rest of the Straw Hats. Then the kids have been marching towards the end. Got it. And then, so there's Jarl over there on, okay, up there. And then, so the Reversi Giants are going to have to get up there eventually. West Village. If you want to run, run. We have no choice, Elder Jarl. Captain Dory and Brogy won't listen to us anymore. I won't retreat. There's still something I've got to tell Elbaf. Gotcha. Oh, dude, we're about to get... Is this Elder Jarl having a Vegapunk announcement moment? Is that what we're about to see? And I wonder... Little theory prediction here. Is Jarl about to tell all of Elbaf that Loki didn't actually kill Harold, or like that's not really how it went down? You know what I mean? I wonder. It's either that, or it's going to be like we're under siege and it's time to, like, you know, fight for the god of Elbaf or something. I don't know. Listen, people of Elbaf, I will tell you everything before I die. Elder Jarl, this is literally the Vegapunk message, because, like, the message only started after he died, and now it's like, before I die, I'll tell you. It's like the same thing. Our late dear King Harold always believed in Elbaf coming together with the rest of the world, and that led to his attempt to join the world government. Now we see Gunkmoo is hearing this and thinking, got the ... like dragon. But his efforts were shunned and betrayed. 14 years ago, on that fateful day, Elder Jarl, I saw it all with my very own eyes. Harold and all those soldiers were killed by the act of a demon. Harold struggled to his last breath to keep Elbaf from falling into that demon's hands. Wait, so Loki didn't kill our king? I held my tongue, fearing that our people would rise up in revenge, leading us into an untimely war. An untimely war our king never wanted. Loki took the people's anger upon himself when he sailed out to sea. He may have always been boorish, but he is innocent. That's the gist, but it's not quite how I'd put it. Don't get carried away, Elder Jarl. Now we got the Gods Knights. Now today, 3 new demons have appeared to subjugate our nation. I had hoped this matter was behind us, but we are once more in need of great power. Seems this job's over. Guess I'll go back to sleep. Is that Summers getting ahead of himself? I'm speaking to you now, demons. You can take our culture and history, but let our little ones go. Yo, Jarl is cooking. I'm into this. This episode's gonna hit so hard whenever it happens. I already love this chapter. If you think this act will crush our spirit, you've made a grave mistake. We will not show you the same patience Harold did. Jarl, you are cooking, man. You speak of subjecting us and picture our people to be your slaves. Who the hell do you think... Who the hell do you bastards think you're dealing with? Forgive me, little ones. Cover your ears if you can. Well said, Jarl. The Elbaf I admire would never bend the knee. If the Harley prophecies are true, the world is bound to face a great divide one day. So be it. From this day forward, all Elbaf will stand against the world government. Jarl, you are... Dude, this is above an 8 out of 10. I gotta be honest. This is 9 out of 10 range for me right now. I don't know. This speech is cooking. Did you really think some thorns, illusions, and this little reversey game would be enough to make us bow? I like this geezer. Zoro, you're talking. I bet you do. 300 years ago, he was known as the strongest being to ever hail from these waters. Oh my god, dude. The biggest Jarl upscale of all time. I already loved this guy, but we will never submit to your dominion. What say you, proud warriors of Elbaf? Well said, Elder Jarl. The Elbaf I know and love is back. Look at Usopp. We get it already, Usopp. Focus on getting rid of these damn arrows. Usopp's gonna figure it out, isn't he? We will protect the peace Harold dreamed of. And here he's face to face with the Reversey Giants. We're finally here. They said if we get caught up between them, it's over. Don't worry. I have a plan. Chapter 1172 end. A spark of resistance flares. Yo, real quick, Lonely Mage, great call out on the music choice. I actually have, it's actually We Are that's playing right now, but it still hit really hard with the moment. That was a good choice to put on some classic One Piece music right there. I'm into this. I'm feeling emotional about this. I love this. I seriously, like, I'm shaking a little bit. I love this so much, but like, oh my god, that's a top tier speech. That's one of the that's an all timer for me. Like, seriously. Elder Jarl, man, I'm stunned. I'm genuinely stunned at how much my boy was cooking. I was like, when y'all said 8 out of 10 and I started the chapter with Scopper going through stuff we already knew, I was like, oh, maybe this is just a big setup chapter recap, you know, like a little bit of like, let's get our feet settled and, like, you know, get ready for the next thing. Nah, this was more than I was expecting. Yo, huge. I just can't say anything other than how much I love this. I mean, we're gonna have to talk about what Zoro's plan is here a little bit. Maybe talk about Usopp, because, like, with him being so motivated now and happy again, I feel like he's probably gonna be the one to figure out the arrows. I don't know why. It's like, I don't know. That's just the vibe I'm getting. But right now, I love this speech from Jarl so much for so many different reasons. Wow. And, you know, like, one thing I've been saying for a while, and I hope it still happens, is that Jarl is old enough to have met Noland if Noland came to Elbaf. And so I hope that at one point Jarl, like, reminisces about it, or at least says, like, oh, my parents told me stories, because Jarl would have been really, really young at the time. So I was expecting some good stuff from Jarl, but I wasn't really expecting this. My boy just cooked. I feel like Usopp. The way Usopp's reacting, like, what a rallying cry for Elbaf, right? Like, I don't know. And just for him to, like, the way Oda did the paneling where we see the three Gods Knights next to each other. Well, Imu's one of them, but you know what I mean. Like, the God, Gunkmu, whatever you want to call Gunkmu. But then right after that, he goes, I'm speaking to you now, demons. You can take our culture and history, but let our little ones go. It's like, it's so cool for Oda to show the Gods Knights, and then immediately he addresses them. I just think that makes it so powerful, right? Because it's like he's not afraid of them. Like, hey, you guys listen up. Like, if y'all keep messing with our kids, look, we're going against the government, right? Like, I know what Harold was trying to do. We're doing the opposite. I held my tongue. No longer am I doing so. Like, he's like, you can tell Jarl has been thinking about this, and he is, like, fully cognizant that now is the time to just, like, cut all their losses and just say, screw it. Like, this is our enemy. I don't care what else is going on. We have to save Elbaf. And, like, this is just so cool, guys. I feel like I could talk for hours about how much I love this. This is at least a 9 out of 10 for me. I'm going to deviate from all the other rankings. I'm, like, so motivated. I told you guys I was, like, a little tired earlier. I'm no longer tired. I am ready to tackle anything in front of me. I feel like I could run through a wall for Jarl right now. My God, I'm still, like, I'm still emotional about this. Such a huge fan. Wow. I'm gonna reread this a couple times later, but let's go ahead and get into some of the super chats. Where am I looking? Yeah, I'm gonna go over here. Let's get to some of the super chats. Thank you guys in advance for all the donations. I'm gonna get through all of them for sure. But yeah, this was awesome. Top tier speech for me. I might even put this above, like, I know it's, like, hard to compare to the Vegapunk speech because his was, like, so many chapters and all that. But, like, but as far as just, like, how emotional I'm feeling, oh man, this was top tier. Top tier. John Stoops with the $5 super chat. It's pretty dead at work here, so I still am. This chapter is a lot of setup, but it really excites me for what's about to come. Oda's about to cook. Completely 100% agree, John. I'm glad that you that work wasn't too busy so you could watch at least hopefully most of that, because I completely agree with you. Like I said, I'm ready to run through a wall for Elbath. Like, dude, put me out there. I'm ready to. I'll go to war. I don't know how to use hockey or nothing, but shoot, man, I'm ready. Like, I'm so motivated now to see what happens next, and I already was. But honestly, I feel like I know I've said it 100 times, but the more I think about it, I really love that Oda did this when he did, because we obviously just transitioned out of the flashback, right? And I think a lot of us, like, were ready for the like, we loved the flashback, but I think we were also ready for the end of it because we knew that we were going to get into this Emu battle. So it makes sense that Oda would, like, use this little lull between the end of the flashback and the actual battle to really hype it up, and he did a great job, because, like, you know, this isn't like the final battle of the story, but it's almost like the first battle of the final war in a way, right? And so it makes sense that Oda would have to hype it up like this. And man, Oda / Jarl, just, I'm so ready. I wish the next chapter was here. You know, it's like whenever I was playing basketball as a youngin', which I mean I still like to sometimes, but whenever I was actually playing in games in high school. And I'm sure a lot of you guys did this as well for whatever sport you played. You know, you go listen to that pump-up music before you walk out into the court, right? 3,000 violin orchestra, Till I Collapse, trying to think of some of the others. I can't think of all the other songs I used to listen to off the top of my head. But, you know, you have those pump-up songs that put you in the mood to, like I said, to run through a wall or something. That's how I feel. I feel like I just got done listening to 3,000 violin orchestra, just got done listening to Till I Collapse, Lose Yourself, you know, whatever it is. Yeah, this was so phenomenal. So phenomenal. Mr. Bushido with the €2. How did Brook free of the arrows? I'm going to go back and look at that, because I was confused on that panel because it was, like, kind of zoomed out a little bit. So, yeah, that is, I believe that's him on the right? But it looks like he's covered in thorns. Was that, I'm not really remembering clearly what happened at the end, but did he just get wrapped in thorns instead? Because, like, he doesn't have flesh, so it didn't hurt him. I can't remember what happened, but it looks like he's wrapped in thorns instead, and I just don't remember what happened at the end last time we saw them. But since he doesn't have flesh, the thorns wouldn't hurt him, so I don't know if there was something there that I just don't remember, but yeah, good question if we didn't see it. I don't know why maybe he does have arrows too, and we just can't see it. I don't know. I can't remember. Mr. Bushido again. Harudin and Zoro saying Jarl Harudin and Zoro saying Jarl going too far, calling Loki completely innocent. Loki is innocent with Harold, but likely guilty of other crimes. Yeah, it's probably something like that. I didn't really think about that much because Jarl is giving, like, a very quick synopsis of the situation, so I didn't know if it was, like, if they were just saying, like, well, that's not how I'd explain it, but I guess that's good enough, or if they're really just saying the innocent part. Let me go and look again, because I was too into it to really think about the specifics at the time, to be honest with you. Let's see, Loki, yeah, because Loki took the people's anger upon himself when he sailed out to sea. He may have always been boorish, but he's innocent. Yeah, I wonder. Yeah, I think. I don't know. Because you could also reason it like, because Jarl saying Loki took the people's anger upon himself when he sailed out to sea. It's like, I could almost look at more that they're replying to that part, because it's like, is it really that Loki, like, that's a very positive way of looking at it, that he took the people's anger upon himself, and so he went out to sea. It might be more that Loki was just shunned and didn't want to be there. You know what I'm saying? So maybe that he's, like, stretching that part of the truth. But maybe it is just the innocent part, because I do agree he's innocent, but he's done some other stuff, but I don't know. I don't know if I should read too much into that at all, but I do love that Oda kind of focused on Zoro's reactions a lot here. Which, like, Luffy's still down there with Loki, so, like, that's why, you know, like, we're not seeing Luffy react to it, but I just like that we're seeing Zoro react, because it's like, I mean, in some ways, like Loki and Zoro have a lot of parallels. Like both were tied up when Luffy first met them, but Luffy vouched for them regardless, and then Luffy ended up being right by vouching for them because they weren't as bad as people said. So they have like all those parallels going on. Also, like really, really powerful for the time period we met them. Like Zoro was very, very feared in the East Blue, and so it was like a big deal that Luffy got him on the crew. Loki's really, really powerful no matter where he's at, so if he got him on the crew, same thing. So I just like that Zoro's kind of commenting on it, right? And Zoro's also very like hell-oriented, or like kind of like demonic in a way. Like he has the Ashura attack that he uses, which ties to like the underworld. He wants to be the king of hell. There's like all sorts of stuff like that, and Loki is like in the realm of the dead, and there's a lot of different parallels like that. So I do like that Zoro's commenting on it. And yeah, I don't know if he's just kind of saying like, yeah, story's close enough. Like that's not how I'd say it, but close enough. Or if there really is like something to read into there, I'm not really sure. But GG's Boxcar, appreciate you for the 5 gifted memberships. Welcome everyone who got a membership, including Dillcore, the editor for the channel. Dill, thank you for showing up, bro. Appreciate you. If the it'll be crazy if the Raptors get Giannis, by the way, Dillcore. For anyone who's a Canadian sports fan or Raptors fan, if y'all get Giannis, that'll be really crazy. I think he's probably gonna go to the Warriors, but that'd be crazy. But thank you very much, GG, as always. I was actually looking at some Lilith cards last night, GG, and you were the first person I thought of. I didn't end up buying any, but I was thinking about using Lilith in one of the decks that I'm making. So, but appreciate you. Vasil Vlad Ivanovici, one of my favorite names to say on YouTube. Jarl, yeah, you do. Oh, old man, dude. I'm seeing above you all these other people shouting out my boy Jarl. I didn't really look at the chat very much, but I'm so glad y'all put respect on my man's name. Jarl deserves it. Jarl, that's a speech. That's a speech for the centuries, literally for the millennia, because of how old he is at this point. Man, Jarl is he's peak, man. Like, I was kind of iffy on him a little bit because he said, yeah, destroy the schools and libraries to save the kids. Because I wanted him to have this kind of moment. So now, at least now he's moved here. I mean, the schools are already burning and the libraries, which is really sad, and I didn't want that. But hey, he's here. He's doing the right thing. Seriously, so awesome. Mr. Bushido for €2. You said Jarl joins the Revs. Dude, I'm gonna be honest. Jarl will be lucky to live through Elbaf. I mean, I hope he lives a little bit longer, at least, so we can talk about Nolan. That's like my big agenda piece for Jarl. Even if he died, Oda could do it where, like, Loki maybe comments, oh, I remember Jarl telling me about this guy, and so we can hear Jarl talk about it via flashback. Like, that's a possibility. But I think Jarl's going to be lucky to get out of Elbaf at all, to be honest with you. He's the oldest living giant. I mean, we kind of need some more death in the story at some point, and I mean, the oldest person there would probably be, like, the easiest to stomach in a way, so... we'll see if he even makes it out of here. But I don't think he would anyway, to be honest with you. I see Jarl as like I'm Elbaf and Elbaf only kind of guy. I don't see him joining any other groups. Like, even if he doesn't like the world government, I think he's just more like, well, I may not like your group either. I just like the Elbaf group. You know, that's the vibe I get, at least from Jarl. Cloud Lizard with the $10 super chat. Thank you very, very much. Seriously, let's see what you got to say. Jarl's helmet or the sword is something special. I agree with you. This unsheathing scene is going to hit so hard in the anime. Do you think the sword can choose when or who to stab, or that the helmet can null damage? That's a good question, because remember, like Jarl, I forget, he said it multiple times, right? That my helmet saved me or something to that effect. I can't remember exactly how he worded it. Yeah, I think he implied that the helmet was special, or at least maybe it was a joke. That's how people, thought of it. But I agree with you. There's something special there. Like, yeah, like, I don't know if, like, the helmet acts as, like, I don't even know how to word this. Like, it's almost like Law's powers in a way. Like, you know how Law's awakening lets him stab people, but it doesn't really stab them, but it does, but it doesn't, right? Like whenever he does anesthesia or whatever, like he can stab you and it doesn't hurt, but then he activates the power afterward. It feels like it's the same kind of thing. But I mean, we know that the sword is special, right? Because that was Harold's sword, I believe, right? Yeah, because it was Harold's sword, and then he threw it into Jarl's head, right? Yeah, because we saw Harold with it in the one painting. So, like, we know the sword's like important. I don't know if it's necessarily like special yet. I feel like we don't really know enough. But since he said the helmet saved him, does the helmet like let things phase through? You know what I mean? Like I have no idea how it works, but I do agree that something special is going on. And I'm gonna be honest, until you said it, like I didn't really mentally clock it that he even pulled the sword out of his head, but because like he did it in the panel looking away from us. And you're right, he does. I think it is the same one, right? Because like at first I thought he may have just like picked up a different sword, but now that I look, it doesn't look like it's in his head. It's kind of obscured because he has it right here. But then he does pull it out. So I didn't even mentally clock that. So Jarl's even more goated, assuming that that is what's happening, which I assume it is. Because like the hilt doesn't look the exact same. It might just be because it's far away that like it isn't drawn the exact same. It's very similar, but it was like more angular, I feel like, at least in the Harold portrait. But yeah, I don't know. That's it's awesome. That's all I gotta say. It's awesome. I feel like it is the helmet though. I mean, the sword's special. The sword's probably like a supreme grade blade. By the way, we never talk about that. By the way, this is one of my like not a big issue I have, but one of my minor gripes with like post time skip One Piece maybe is that like we really don't talk about sword grades that often. Like we did in Wano a little bit with Enma, and like Sukiyaki said that Enma could be upgraded to upgraded a rank if it became a black blade, I think. So like we talked about it a little bit, but like very rarely like do we see a blade and we start a discussion on like, oh, what rank is that? Oh, that means we've now found 10 of the 21 whatever grade. Like we never really break this stuff down, but I feel like this one's gonna be a supreme grade, like the top one. Forget what they're called, Owazamono or something like that. But yeah, I think the helmet is special. I agree with you. Lonely Mage with the $10 super chat. Appreciate you again for all your generosity, dude. This like I think this is your third one, seriously. And thank you for the suggestion on the music. That was necessary. Zoro's plan: dive head first between Dory and Brogy, get Domi reversied, evil side gets lost, Zoro is a good demon. I don't think that's crazy. Like the evil side gets lost is like the meme way of looking at it, but like more straightforwardly, it could just be that Zoro, he wants to be the king of hell. He has conquerors. He's a very just powerful guy. Whatever. Maybe he can overpower the abilities. Might be what he's thinking. So he might actually try it. Domi reversied Zoro. I actually like that idea. Because even if this isn't really Zoro's plan, I can see Oda having Zoro get lost, quote unquote, and land in between Dory and Brogy, and then so he gets transformed just because he got lost, right? Something like that. I actually don't think that's crazy. That was not what I was thinking at all for Zoro's plan. But him getting lost while trying to do his plan, and then he lands in between Dory and Brogy and gets transformed, that feels like an Oda thing for sure. So I think you might be cooking, dude. I think you might actually be cooking with that. For now, that's my favorite idea. I don't have any other good ideas, really, but that, I actually like it the more I think about it. Because I just think reversing Zoro would be so cool for the fandom, right? Also, Cloud Lizard, I saw that you attached an addendum here to your original super chat, so I'm going to comment on that real quick. My first thought is that the sword follows the true will of the user, so it cannot kill someone without the intention to kill. True Herald couldn't kill his friend. I like that too. So, like, again, I do feel like the helmet is special, but if it is something with the sword, that could be it, because you know what that reminds me of is like the Breath of All Things. And remember how Koshiro said, like, the same blade can cut everything or nothing? Like, it can cut a person, or it can cut steel, but not cut paper if you want it to. Like, it's the, like, you're deciding what it really hurts. Actually, I like that, too. It just, because that'd be a good callback. Especially with the focus on Zoro this chapter, it might be good to, like, meld all those things together. So I think you might be cooking. Mr. Bushido with the €5. Zoro saying he has a plan reminds me of Annie's lobby, where he says his plan on getting past the island gates is to simply crash through them. Good call out. Good call out. And I see Miles commented too and said, I just don't think Zoro's plan is going to be something intelligent. Cloud Lizard said he's going to tell them to keep running forward to both of them. You guys are so right. Like, and going back to Lonely Mage's comment, like, he's probably just gonna say my plan is just to go straight for him, and then he does it. But once he's in the center, he gets transformed. That too. But I think we've figured it out between all these answers. Whether Zoro gets lost or he has them just take him directly there, either or, he's gonna accidentally get between them and get transformed. But maybe it won't actually affect him because King of Hell stuff or Conqueror's Haki, whatever. And then, or maybe actually, there's another good point. Maybe what happens? So Zoro's riding on Haradin right now, right? So here's another idea, and this is really important. The more I think about it. So remember that idea that Domi Reversi only works in your homeland? Like, so the Elbaf Giants are getting reversied here because they were born here. Rox got reversied in God Valley because he was born there. All that kind of stuff. If that theory is true, that you have to be in your homeland, then maybe what's going to happen is Haradin does charge directly between them, and Haradin gets transformed, but Zoro doesn't. And so that tells us that it is the truth that, like, anyone who's from that land gets transformed, but not people from outside of it. Because Zoro's from, obviously, like, Shimotsuki Village in the East Blue, right? So that might be another potential option. Like, Zoro's plan is to go between them and just, like, cut them down. But then whenever it happens, Haradin gets transformed, and he's like, wait, what the hell? And then he has to, like, he has to report it back to everybody. I think that makes some sense, too, I think. Which, Haradin getting reversied would be... It'd be kind of sad because I want him to have a good moment, but maybe, like, they'll charge there and a giant ahead of Haradin will get transformed first, so Haradin doesn't. I don't know. But one way or another, I do think it makes sense for us to get to the bottom of that homeland theory, if it's true. If it's not true, then we might not have to touch it at all. But if it is true, this would be a great moment, I think. Mr. Bushido with the €2 super chat. That's Robin covered in thorns, not Brooke. Let me go back up. Oh yeah, I guess it. Yeah, it's hard to tell because it's like a dark silhouette, and so I didn't know if, like, that was, like, I didn't remember what Brooke was wearing. I couldn't get the name straight. Do we see Brooke separate? I guess I'm just confused on the Brooke part because I don't see him separate from here. I don't see him in this panel at all, so I would presume he's just off to the side. Because remember, I think last time we saw him, he got, like, kicked by Gunko, right? So, I don't know. I don't see Brooke, so I guess I'm confused. Like, I don't think there's anything to write home about Brooke, I guess is what I'm getting at. Unless I'm missing something. I assume he's just off to the side or whatever. Let's see. Vasil Vlad Ivanovici with the 10 pounds. About the Holy Land burning, since we now know that Emu avoided Elbaf for the last 14 years, recruiting Loki and the Giants is an act of desperation. Marijwa started burning before this arc began. Completely agree with you. Yeah, so, and I mentioned this in my last video a little bit too, where since Harold died, well, we don't really know how it all works necessarily, but since Harold died, that is one less God's Night, so that would mean that either a spot opened up for, someone else to take, like for them to recruit somebody else, or maybe since he was killed by an outsider, that spot's gone forever. But either way, Saturn losing his spot could also mean that there's an opening, because Garling probably had a mark before he became a Gorosei, and so Saturn dying should have still opened up a mark, because, like, even if Saturn's mark went to Garling, then Garling's original one would become an open mark, right? So like there should be an opening now. So I think there's a couple ways of looking at it. It could be kind of what you're saying, like maybe there's been an opening this like since Harold died, and so it really does show how much desperation there is because now they've finally decided to come back here and try to recruit another giant. Or if it's because of Saturn, I think it still shows a little bit of their desperation, but it's a different context if it's Saturn's mark, or well, Garling's mark, whichever, that they're giving up, because that one just became available, so it's like just a different context. But I think you're still kind of on the money either way, that like this does show their desperation, because remember, Emu was like, don't send anyone to Elbaf. We can't risk losing any more knights. But they sent a bunch of knights here, right, to try to, take over Elbaf essentially. Which, based off the past, we know that that was really important for Emu. Like, that was something Emu wanted to do, and something that Emu kind of came to the conclusion that it was impossible to do. So the fact they still tried to come and do it, and well, they're succeeding sort of now, but the fact they even sent someone to try to recruit Loki, I think does show sort of what you're saying. I think the context is different, whether it's the Saturn / Garling mark or the Herald mark they're trying to get somebody to take, but either way, I do think the Marijois burning part is sort of the final push where Emu's like, all right, I know I said before that we're not going to mess with Elbaf, but now we might have to go mess with Elbaf. Now things are getting too crazy. So yeah, I think you're right. And remember, Gunko, or it was actually Gunko at the time, said, whatever side the Giants pick will greatly change the outcome of the war. And we've heard the same kind of line in a few other instances. And I think that tells us, like, it's very important to get the Giants on your side. Like, you might not have a chance to win if the Giants aren't on your side. And so I think that's another part of it, where, like, with Marijois burning and maybe some other stuff going on, Emu's like, all right, the final war is upon us. It's time to, like, get all of our ducks in a row. Let's go back to Elbaf now and give it like one final shot. So yeah, I think you're on the money. Like I said, the context might be a little bit different depending on the marks and stuff, but I think you're right. Just that, like, they're worried. The government's worried at this point. They know that they're gonna have a huge battle on their hands to maintain power, and so they're doing what they can for sure. Mr. Bushido, Brook family name reveal soon, I believe. Man Mayor. I really doubt that Brook will be Man Mayor because, like, if you use the example from Shanks and Shamrock, like, a God's Knight visited God Valley and had those kids and then took them back. So, like, it's, so using Gunko as an example, it would probably be that, like, a God's Knight visited and had Gunko and then left. And so I guess in theory it could be that, like, a God's Knight came, had Brook, and then came back and then had Gunko, or maybe it's a completely different situation. But since we also know Brook was in, like, the Royal Guard, I think the setup is mainly that God's Knight visited, had Gunko, they came back later and cleansed it, and so Gunko and Brook aren't related, but they're just friends because Brook was, like, military officer, a police officer, whatever they're called in his kingdom, but it would be cool to get the Brook family name regardless, I will say. Whatever it is. If it is Man Mayor, that'd be cool just for all, like, the connections. Like I said, I doubt it is going to be Man Mayor. But I do want to get the Brook family name reveal for sure. For sure. My hat is like, I need to get a haircut. Whenever my hair gets too long and it starts, like, getting caught on, like, the Velcro of my hat, it starts, that's when I gotta get a haircut. Mr. Bushido again. Dragon needs a representative to go to Elbaf and recruit Giants. I don't know, because I don't think Dragon really recruits like that, I don't think Dragon, it's not like he's recruiting a pirate crew. I think he's just taking, like, whoever will join, really. Because you look back at Gray Terminal, and whenever he pulled up at Gray Terminal, he kind of looks out at, like, everybody. I can't remember exactly what he says, but he basically says, if you guys want to leave, come join me and fight on my side for a better world or something. Again, I can't remember what he says exactly, but he kind of tells the people like, hey, you probably don't like living on this trash heap and everyone's trying to kill you. Come join me and fight for me and we'll go and fix the world or whatever, right? And I feel like that's how Dragon's got a lot of his recruits. Like, actually, Lelucia is another good example. Remember how all the Lelucia people showed up and now they're on Kamabaka, and most of them are probably going to join the Revs and help them because they've been wronged by the world government and they want to take them down. So I don't think Dragon really recruits like that, you know? I think Dragon just, he helps people, and if they want to join him, he accepts them. And I think that's sort of it. So I mean, it is possible he gets some Giants, but I don't think he's really going to come here and recruit. If he came here and helped stave off the attack by the government, like maybe he heard that the Gods Knights are showing up and he came and helped us hold off the Holy Knights, then I think there might be some Giants who are willing to join him. But I don't really see him like recruiting, you know. I don't think that's a Dragon thing. I think he's like just picking up people by osmosis most of the time. But hey, I'm down for him to show up to Elbaf, to be clear. I'm down for Dragon to do anything. I feel like he's probably in the Holy Land again, but showing up to Elbaf would be even cooler. Mr. Bushido again, like stream, join Discord, carrot for Nakama, returns in Elbaf. You're cooking on 2 out of the 3 here, so definitely like the stream, definitely join the Discord. Carrot for Nakama, will maybe carrot for, you know, Mink Nakama, because Carrot is Nakama with the rest of the Minks. So if that's what you meant, then you're cooking. Because Carrot is Nakama with the rest of the people on Zoe. But as for Nakama with the Straw Hats, we'll have to see. The only way is if, like I said in my Straw Hat video, if Zunisha dies. That's the only way. You're going to need Zunisha to die. And do you want Zunisha to die? Because I don't want Zunisha to die. I mean, Zunisha probably will die. But it'll be sad. It'll be sad. I love elephants, so we'll see. But not I don't think we're going to be seeing Carrot anytime soon, to be honest. Vasil, Vlad, Ivanovici again with the 10 pounds. Last spam for tonight, dude. No, it is not spam. Thank you. Well, thank you for the donations in general, but you give some very thought-provoking ideas, so definitely not spam. Don't feel bad at all. But if Ragnar ate the Ratatosker fruit, I want the giant sword to have eaten the Jormungandr and climb up the Adam tree, like in the Snake in the Garden of Eden depictions. That's interesting. So the Garden of Eden line is really important because obviously we have the Adam tree here, and then the Eve tree is like under the red line, in the red line. We don't really know, but under the red line for sure to some degree. And if the Eve tree is in the red line, like maybe it goes up through it to Marijwa, and that's where Emu's at in the flower room. I think like that's a pretty common thought process so far. If that's true, and the red line is wrapped around the Eve tree, and we've already, you know, had parallels between the Jormungandr and the red line, that would mean that Jormungandr is wrapped around the Eve tree. So it might make sense if we have a Jormungandr wrap around the Adam tree, right? Like maybe both. And maybe that could tell us a little bit of history about how the red line came to be, or give us, you know, some food for thought there. I like this idea for that reason. I didn't really think about the giant sword, to be honest with you. I think it would, I mean, it would be really cool if it had a fruit. I feel like it's like, now that we've had Ragnar as a weapon with a fruit, and we also have Nash, who's like a homie shield. Like it's not a devil fruit imbued into it, but it's devil fruit power used on the shield. We do have like multiple living objects, so I don't know. I could see it. Like I don't know if it would be a zone fruit, just because like we'd be kind of like redoing the same thing as Ragnar. I mean, Ragnar's not a sword, but we've already had a zone weapon here. But maybe it could be something else, right? Like it could be like Enma, where it just has a mind of its own. So it wouldn't transform into Jormungandr, but it could still be living. But for the Jormungandr part, the devil fruit's probably the easiest. But it could also be that the sword's name is just Jormungandr, and maybe somebody throws it into the tree or uses it to cut the tree down, and that could tie to some Norse myth. I don't know. I like what you're cooking, though, because like I said, with the red line and Eve tree combo, and now we have the Adam tree, it would make sense to have some giant snake tied to that. So I actually think you might be onto something. That's a good theory. Cloud Lizard with the $5 super chat. Thank you again, brother. There's been a lot of mentions of dreams or dreamers the last couple chapters. Do you think that's the inherited D? Yeah, I mean, I don't know how everybody else will feel about this, but like if the D was like dreamer or dreams or something dream, like the D is dream something. Like I would like it thematically, but I feel like it would be a little like lackluster almost, just because remember like when Blackbeard first meets Luffy, he says like dreams never die, and I know dreams are a big focus, and we've had, we talk about dreams all the time. So like I don't know if I would want the D to be dream for that reason, right? Because it's like right in our face the whole time. Thematically, I think it cooks, and I wouldn't mind it, but just for that to be the actual word, I'm kind of like, I don't really know. But I mean, but like I said, thematically, I would love it. And with Blackbeard saying dreams never die, and him also being a D, but him being like an evil D member, and then Luffy being a good D member, and like the thing that Teach and Luffy have in common the most, well, they have a lot in common, honestly, but like dreams really is like the big thing. They're both big dreamers. I think it would make sense that the D is that, because it's showing like the opposite sides of being a dreamer. Like you can have good or bad dreams, kind of like Big Mom's dream is to have a country where everyone from all different races can live together. The way she's doing it is not good, but it is a good dream in an absolute sense. So it's like there's good and bad versions of dreams in that way. So I would like it for that reason. I don't know. Again, I don't know if I want the D to literally be dreamer, but I wouldn't be mad at the implications of it for sure. And I would almost say that it probably is, like, everything I just said probably is accurate. I just don't know if that is going to be the D, but I think there's definitely a tie between the D and the dreamers of this era, if that makes sense, right? Everyone probably has, like, an important dream that ties to the D in some way. It's kind of like people who say, like, the D is, like, Dawn, either the D-A-W-N or the D-O-N one. It's the same kind of thing. Like, we've talked about the Dawn a lot, and like Dawn, whether it's the One Piece TCG or just like the onomatopoeia from throughout the story, it's like that's been in our face a lot too. So I don't know if I'd really like that to be the D at the end, but either way, I think the dreamer part is like, that's definitely tying to it for sure. Let's see, Analytic Media, appreciate you very much for the $10 super chat. I think Oda revealed the man marked by flames in chapter 395. You see Saturn order Clover's death, but then a different mystery 6th Gorosei orders the Marines to prepare for attack. No, it's not Mars. I will try to look this up real quick. I wish we had a little bit more info as to like when the road poneglyph disappeared from Fishman Island, because like my sort of headcanon is that it didn't get moved until very recent, like end of the pre-time skip sort of era, like right before Big Mom took over, because that's when Whitebeard wasn't protecting them anymore. And if that was true, then this wouldn't actually. Well, O'Hara was 20-something years ago, and the road poneglyph was seen in Fish Mountain right before that, so I don't know if it would have been moved. Why can't I find this chapter? I've clicked multiple sites, and it and I keep getting like 404 error not found, probably because the site got taken down or whatever. This is my 4th one that's done that. Give me one more second to find this. Maybe right here. Okay, here we go. Let me see. I'm pretty sure, at least from what I'm looking at, maybe I'm not looking at the right panels, but for one thing, there's not Like I mean, maybe I was misreading it, but I know I only see a couple Gorosei here. So like I know there's not like there's not six Gorosei. But then also the one who gives the order to attack, I'm pretty sure is Saturn. And I'm pretty sure we already learned that because in Egghead, right? Whenever Robin like reacted to Saturn's voice in a certain way, and I think that was meant to imply that she heard the voice. Maybe I'm looking at the wrong panel here, but like I said, I don't see six Gorosei, and the one that gives the order to attack, I think we already were told that was Saturn, right? Like because of Robin. So if I am missing something, let me know, but I'm pretty sure we know that one who said give the order to attack is Saturn, right? I'm pretty sure. Yeah, Cloud Lizard. I think I see what they're talking about, but whenever I'm looking at it, I don't see more than 5 Gorosei at any given time, and I know the one that gives the order is supposed to be Saturn because of Egghead. It honestly doesn't look like him that much. Like people thought it was Mars for a long time, until Egghead, and whenever it was cleared up that it was Saturn, from what I remember. But I'm pretty sure we got the confirmation that was Saturn. I think. But if I'm wrong, Analytic Media, shoot me a picture of what you're seeing or whatever, because that would be a really cool catch if that was accurate, right? Like way back then, that's where they got revealed. But also, like I was saying too, this was 22 years ago, which is a couple years after Roger had gone to Fishman Island and found the road poneglyph. But I guess it could be that he became the man marked by flames later on. I guess it didn't have to be here. I guess I was thinking the timeline too directly. Like he could have he could have got the poneglyph later, but yeah, I don't see more than 5, and pretty sure that's Saturn. So but yeah, let me know if I'm missing something. I would be more than down to be wrong on that for sure. Time Lord with the $2 super chat. Sanji has to stop evil Zoro, opposite of Promise. Oh dude, I like that, because remember guys, Remember in Wano when Sanji's like, he called Zoro like, hey, if I lose my mind and I become like a killing machine, you gotta kill me, all right? And that never ended up happening. But now if it happens the other way, and Sanji's got to stop evil Zoro, and we actually get like a Zoro versus Sanji situation, which, just for the fandom, that would be very controversial in a lot of ways. I think that'd be awesome. So you're cooking, Time Lord. I love that. I feel like that's headcanon. Now, for me, like headcanon in terms of like that is like I think that's gonna happen for sure. Where am I at? Terrible TJ with the $5 super chat. It would be wild if Zoro unintentionally made a contract with Asura or something and can't be Domi reversied. I think he's gonna go around them. That's another good man. You guys are calling out all the right things. That's a really good point too. Like, maybe he has a contract or a mark already from Asura, or it could even be like baked into his bloodline, or maybe the reason there's so many demonic ties with Zoro is like when he was born, maybe his parents did some ritual with him or something. I don't really know. But that would be really crazy because remember actually in Egghead, remember when he clashed with Nushjuro and they noticed that they each had like a Katetsu blade, like the cursed blades, right? It would be kind of funny if Imu had the same thing with Zoro, where like they clash, or maybe it's like a Domi reversey trigger thing or whatever. But then Imu is kind of making the same comment, like, oh wait, you have some demonic aura too. Who are you? Like, what's going on? I think that would be awesome. So I love that so much. Whether it could be the Homeland theory where it doesn't work because of that, but I almost like your idea more, that they try it and Imu's like, wait, you're working with this other demon, this demon I hate. Like Asura's one of my biggest enemies or something. I'd love that. I love that, TJ. That is so cool. Analytic Media with the $2. This is from earlier. In voice actor and appearance in anime isn't one of the 5 Gorosei. I know in the anime, I know it's really hard to tell, but from what I'm looking at in the manga, like I know it's Saturn now that I've like, like because he has the sharp nose mainly. That's how I can tell. Voice actor is interesting. The voice actor, I'm wondering, could that be because they didn't know which one it was? You know what I'm like even the anime didn't know who that was supposed to be, because like I said in Egghead, I think it's like a lot of us didn't even know it was Saturn. I think we thought it was Mars, or it was like kind of obscured. So maybe that's it. Either way though, like I said, if you have more panels or something to send me that to back that up, definitely do so, because what I'm looking at in 395, the chapter seems to be pointing towards what we all thought it was, but I don't know. Maybe there is something to it. I think that would be a really cool place for Oda to reveal it, though. Like, be an awesome point, like inflection point to hide that. Mr. Bushido with the €5, 2 points. Last we saw Brook, he was tied up in arrows. Now he escaped, according to Jinbei. 2, Bjorn Road Bro looks like Sanji. According to Jinbei, does he say it this chapter? Oh, Brook's gone off somewhere. He must be. Oh, okay, that part. That's what I missed. Yeah, no, probably. I think somebody else commented this. He maybe just hopped into his soul thing, so his body's laying next to him. You know what I mean? Because he can like travel different distances or whatever with his soul. I'm wondering if that's what it is, because that would make a lot more sense than him getting out of the arrows without saving everybody else, because if he's in his ghost form, he can't touch anything. So I feel like that's it. And I'll look at the other thing. Chapter 1147. I vaguely remember what he looks like off the top of my head. Bjorn, where are you at? Oh, yeah, he's the one who's, like, upset. Like, he's, like, sad and worried and stuff. Yep. He does look like Sanji. That is interesting. And Rodo is, like, kind of like the creep of the crew in a way, right? So he kind of parallels Sanji in that way, which, like, honestly, Brook's, like, a little more of a creep than Sanji's. Like, Sanji's, like, a big lover boy, you know, obviously. But Brook, you know, asks to see people's panties. So that's, you know, that's a little bit worse, but it is fitting that Rodo, being kind of the creep of the crew, his little brother is like Sanji. Like, that is kind of funny. Oda, that is kind of funny. I'm not gonna lie, that's funny. Alexander Fiorello with the $2 super chat. Jarl is such a Chad. Balls of steel forever. Completely agree with you, 100%. I am a Jarl truther, and honestly, I always have been to a degree, other than the burning the school and library thing, but always been a big fan of Jarl. I mean, Whole Cake's been my favorite arc for a long time, and the Mother Carmel flashback is a major reason why. There's a lot of reasons why, but that's one of the reasons. And so Jarl I've always had a soft spot for him, because Jarl died, like his boy Jarl, and Jarl showed enough grace to like not kill Big Mom, which maybe he should have, but he didn't. So I'm happy that Oda's giving him like some shine now, right? He definitely deserves it. Definitely deserves it. Alexander Fiorello, again, bro, thank you very much for the double up on the super chats here. Do you think Howardine has ever actually seen Loki's fruit? I could see him knowing what it is, but maybe never saw it. Could be a cool brotherly moment. I think he does, because we were told that, like, all of the warriors of Elbaf teamed up to stop Loki, but then Shanks... I think they said all the giants tried, but then Shanks came in and finished it or something. I don't know. I know there was some line where post-Fruit, all of the warriors of Elbaf were said to try and stop Loki. And I think that would be a definite time for him to have seen the fruit in use. So I would say yes. Now, it is possible that Howardine just wasn't there, or he just wasn't a part of the group that was trying to get Loki at the time. I think that is also possible. And like you're saying, it could be a cool brotherly moment for him to see it now, and so we get to see Howardine's initial reaction to it. I think that'd be really cool. I'd probably lean more towards Howardine seeing it, Because not only for the reason I said, but narratively, that would also let Haradin be the one who explains the fruit, where he's like, yep, that's Loki's Nidhogg power or whatever it is. It lets him do this and this and this, and this is why it's the power of Elbaf, because it ties back to this legend. Like, he'd be kind of the perfect person to explain it all to us, which could be a cool brotherly moment in a different way. So like I said, I would lean towards him having already seen it, but I guess it is possible that he hasn't. And that would be cool in its own way. So, I mean, both of them, I think, are, like, good options. I won't be mad no matter what Oda chooses, for sure. Dustin Halo with the $2 super chat. Maybe Enma can cut hell, Domi Reversi, like lore. That would be actually really cool, because Enma is literally named, like, the king of hell, right? Isn't that what Enma... Isn't that who Enma was? Let me look. Enma means the king of hell or judge of the dead. So yeah, definitely. And what's interesting though, and I'm glad you brought this up, is remember Enma was obviously like a training arc for Zoro in a way, or like gave him an opportunity to improve his hockey, particularly his Conqueror's hockey, right? I still remember that cool panel where Zoro gets up and he has the aura on all of his swords, and King says something like, oh, so you have kingly ambitions as well, or something to that effect, which was just a really cool line. But that obviously got him to pull out some of like that dormant strength in a way, right? And so with us learning that Conqueror's hockey is important to defeating the Gods Knights, Enma should carry some importance there, right? Like Enma might be the perfect sort of weapon to at least start the discussion on how we beat them. Like maybe Zoro puts everything he has into an attack, and maybe Enma even approves, where it's like, oh yeah, that was everything you had, and maybe it doesn't do anything, and so like Zoro figures out he has to get even stronger, or maybe it does do everything, and or maybe he does do everything and it does a little something, so he can start piecing together how to defeat them. But either way, Enma sort of being at the epicenter of us stopping Domi Reversi or learning more about how to stop it, that lines up perfectly. So I'm really glad you brought that up. That makes perfect sense. Because if Enma's going to be the king of hell or the judge of the dead, it would make sense that they would have a hand in, you know, the current undead that are amongst us. So yeah, you're cooking. You're cooking. And the more I think about it, especially with Enma, like it makes sense that Oda's having Zoro be the first one to get a crack at the Reversi Giants. There's a lot that could come out of that for sure. A lot. Analytic Media said it's not Saturn. I'll get a screenshot from the anime. So the anime, I mean, that might be worth considering, but the manga panel to me looks definitely like Saturn, and like because the anime, like they're just taking their best guess at it, you know, obviously adapting the manga. So I think they probably just didn't know who it was for sure, and so they obscured it even more for the viewers. But like I said, since an Egghead, because of Robin's reaction, I think that's also confirming it's Saturn. So I guess if the anime is the main piece of evidence, I don't know if I would weight that highly, I guess is what I'm mainly getting at. The manga and Egghead seem to imply something else. But as I always say, if you end up being right, I mean, you're going to get some flowers. You're the first one to catch it, to my knowledge. Also, one random thing I just noticed, I've never seen this, I don't think, but in chapter 395, the one with Saturn giving the orders and all that, the page after Saturn or whatever Gorosei says give the order to attack, the panel like goes off to the side. It's kind of hard to describe, but like the panel, you know how panels usually fit within the borders of the page, like they, you know, like there's like the black borders on the side for flashbacks or white for regular. For some reason, this flashback, Oda was like using more parts of the page. It just looks really weird. Like the grass is just off to the side. It's hard to describe. If you looked at it, it would make sense. I don't want to show it because I'll probably get in trouble from Shueisha, but 395, you can see it. The grass goes off to the side, and it just looks weird. I feel like he doesn't do that anymore. But yeah, I think that's Saturn. But again, if I'm wrong, you'll have your name in lights at least on this channel for sure. Kind of like Bushido if Carrot ever joined up to Egghead, which she didn't. Now Drake did show up to Egghead, so Bushido got like a tiny little flower, like you know in the CP9 cover story, how that little girl gives CP9 like a little flower as a thank you for saving everybody and stuff. That's what I'm giving Bushido for the Drake on Egghead, because Drake was on Egghead in the past, which is hilarious. But yeah, if you end up being right about the Gorosei, you'll get more flowers than Bushido did for sure. Alexander Fiorello, did you see the panel of Haradin seeing Nidhogg? I definitely looked at it. I didn't really consciously think about Haradin's reaction there, though. Let me go back and look. I didn't even really clock that, but you're right. It shows the Nidhogg, and then Haradin is reacting to it like it's like a one-off thing. Like it's just two panels in its own little section here. Like we see the Nidhogg facing off against the Knight, then it's just the Nidhogg's face and just Haradin being shocked, and then everything else. Loki definitely has the Nidhogg fruit. I know I've already done a video on this, so you guys probably already know where I'm at. He so has the Nidhogg fruit. It is just, it's locked in. If it ain't the Nidhogg, Oda wanted us to think it's the Nidhogg. That's how I'll put it. Like, there's enough pieces here where Oda definitely wanted the theorist to figure this out and think about this. If it's not that, then he was just playing with us. But yeah, that's so it, man. Knack Talk, member for 19 months. What up, gang? Knack. Oh, actually, you have another super chat. Hold on. Canadian $2. Dak, I got something spicy from the cover story. Hit me. Wait. Two swans. Love one wears straw hat. Other has emu's crown. All right, hold on. Let's go back and look. Appreciate you though, by the way, for all the support, Knack, as always. I've been buying. I've been buying / opening a lot of One Piece cards lately, and every time I pull a Marco-related card, I'm like, I gotta save this for Knack whenever Knack wins another. And Tashigi, right? Marco and Tashigi. I know you like other people, but those are the two I always think of for you. Because I have pulled a couple Marco cards. Not a lot of Tashigi cards, which is all right. I'm not complaining. Oh, yeah, no, dude. No, Knack, you're cooking. You are cooking. The swans back there. One's got a straw hat, and one has emu's crown. And you know what that reminds me of? You guys remember in Big Mom's flashback with Mother Carmel, do you remember how like there was two kids grabbing on to Mother Carmel's like cloak? I don't even know what you would call it, veil thing. And they were both on each side of her, and one was like a lamb or like a sheep, and one was like a kid with a crown that had like dark circles under his eyes, and like he looks kind of evil or angry. And so I don't know what the theories were, but I just remember seeing like an image on Reddit where somebody was like, is this some foreshadowing for Joy Boy and Emu? And I always thought that was interesting, because it is kind of uncanny. You got the sheep, which is like the Mary and stuff, and then the crown, which is like Emu. Now you got kind of the same thing. You got two swans here talking, one with a straw hat, one with a crown. Usually I don't really factor in cover requests that much into like my theories, because I feel like, at least historically, they're cover requests. Like, they're supposed to be just a fun random thing, and I think for a lot of the time they were. But I mean, that's something. That's something. It's kind of like I think Bushido actually super chatted about this. There was one from like 7 or 8 chapters ago, I want to say, that was like Mihawk and Perona focused, and but they were talking about a rabbit hunt of some sort, and that was like, was that a hint that like Mihawk was a part of a rabbit hunt? Like, did his island get cleansed, or were his family celestial or God's Knights? Like, a couple of different ways you could interpret it. I almost want to do a video now on like, could the cover requests be hinting at things, like just looking at them all, because like they are getting kind of interesting. I still don't want to factor them in that much, but I mean, that one's on the nose, man. That one's on the nose. It's pretty crazy. And then Bushido, you said, I told you to stop using me as the example. You got too many theories. You gotta be the example, because there's like there's a use case for Bushido no matter what the situation is. Like whether it's the flowers, well, we've definitely talked about the flowers before. Right here with the cover requests, I know Bushido's got cover request theories, so I got to use you as an example there. You got so many theories that it's you're the perfect. I don't want to say guinea pig, but that's kind of how it feels. You're the perfect test subject for all these things. So, but hey, like I said, whenever you land one of these, because one will land. I mean, you've actually hit a couple at least minor ones, but whenever you hit a major one, you're gonna get a whole bouquet. I don't know if the flowers will make it out to where you live. I don't want to dox you, but I don't know if the flowers will survive making their way over there. But maybe I can put in a call with a florist where you live and get you hooked up. But okay, I see a couple TCG related questions that I really want to answer. So and I'm happy to answer, talk about some more manga stuff as well if you guys have more questions. But I am going to get into some TCG stuff. So just before I do, just if you are going to dip out because you don't want to listen to any random discussion, just thank you guys. This was a phenomenal chapter. 10 out of 10. I'm really pumped there's not a break. I've actually really enjoyed the break weeks that we've had because it's given me more time to do some videos and just get some other stuff done in life without feeling like I'm falling behind. But this was peak, and I'm super excited for this next one. I was able to get a redacted video out last week. I was a little late on it, but it did get out, and I should be able to get one done this week as well for another just a redacted discussion on this chapter. I don't know. I might do a couple videos because I kind of want to switch up how I'm doing it, but I'll have something up about this for sure. But yeah. So as for the TCG stuff, what was I gonna? Or something Knack said. Got a new Luffy deck built for playing now, and then Cloud Lizard, you said, are you using ST29 Oikot cleansing event from a manga thing? At first, I was making the connection to ST29. I'm like, why is the Egghead deck clearing out Oikot? Wait, what is going on? I might use ST29. I haven't like messed with it that much. I've been trying to make my Foxy deck because, of course, I have to make a Foxy deck. And also, the Foxy deck is really cool because it slows people down, right? There's like you stop people from attacking, and you can like lower their power right when they're about to attack. Lots of like fun stuff. So I want to try that really bad. So I haven't tried ST29, but I probably should because tomorrow I'm going to go to my first event, and I'm not going to have the Foxy deck together, or at least a good one in time because I got to order some stuff. So I might just run ST29 at the event tomorrow. Maybe I'll make some minor changes, but I think that's what I'm gonna go for. And by the way, anybody who is into the One Piece TCG or wants to get into it, I am just now getting into it. I am like a total scrub. Anybody who is familiar with it and is hearing me talk can probably tell that I'm a scrub because I have no idea what I'm doing. But I am going to start playing OP TCG Sim more often, and I want to play against some people for practice and just for fun. So if you guys want to get into the OP TCG, you can play for free on the Sim and make your own decks and try them out and play against other people. And hey, I want to run some like streams where I'm just like playing random matches against you guys, because I got to practice. I can't be the One Piece guy at my locals, right? Because they know I have a YouTube channel. They know I cover the story and all that. They know who I am. I can't be the One Piece guy and walk in and suck at the TCG. I have to be good. I'm obligated to be decent. I don't have to win every time, but I gotta be a good ambassador for us, right? So I gotta get better. The Seaman 2. Little reminder, you're the GOAT of One Piece YouTubers. Loved your recent emu vid. Seaman, seriously, I appreciate. I needed that, especially today. Because now we got a chapter, so now I got to start thinking about the next video, which I'm not sure what it's going to be. I don't think I'll do one on this, other than the redacted stuff. But seriously, thank you, Seaman. That little bit of motivation does help. Genuinely, it does. Thank you for your kind words. And yeah, and again, everybody, if you haven't seen the emu video, definitely go check it out. I've gotten a lot of positive feedback. And like I said, because I think One Piece has had a little bit of a lull because we've had so many breaks, I don't think me and other channels in general, I don't think a lot of the videos are spreading as far as they used to, just because, and I mean, YouTube's always changing the algorithm in general, but I think less eyes have been on One Piece in general. So if you haven't checked it out, definitely go check it out. So from the feedback I've gotten, it's a pretty good video. So definitely check it out. I managed to get the ST29 Alt Art Luffy. Do you mean the black and white one? I like calling it like a ghost rare. It's not really like a ghost rare, but that's how I think of it. Analyt IQ Media. It hasn't popped up on YouTube yet, but I can see it on Streamlabs. I don't know why that is. I can't see it in like the chat. How do I send you screenshot? The easiest way would be Discord. But if you don't have Discord, I won't make you download it. Just send it to my email, and I think that's in the description. It is. Towards the bottom, it says business inquiries. You count as a business inquiry, my friend. Don't worry. Truthfully, that's just like the, random. That's all business-related things. So anything to do with the channel, you can always reach me there for sure. I do have a handful of people who send me theories via email sometimes because they don't have Discord. Major shout out to Largo. I haven't heard from you in a little while, which is all right because I know I have been really bad at answering the emails, Largo, but I do enjoy looking at those whenever I get the chance. So I haven't heard from you in a minute, but Largo, hope you're doing well. He always sends me some awesome theories via email. And I just think it's so cool to get them via email for some reason. And actually, I've had a P.O. box for a while, but that USPS was sketchy. I'm going to be honest with you. That was not a good USPS. Debus in the chat can vouch that PO box, that USPS is questionable. So I'm actually getting a new PO box, and it's going to be a little bit bigger of a PO box, and it's going to be at a better USPS who is not going to mess up my stuff. So I'm going to, if anybody wants to send fan stuff, which, I am not going to, solicit that. Do not feel like you have to at all. But if anybody wanted to send fan stuff, I am going to, put that PO box probably in the channel description or something so people can send stuff. I've had a few people who wanted to, so I will have that available soon. Because yeah, like I said, that other USPS, I've had it for over a year, but they've been so sketchy. I've been very iffy about posting the PO box publicly because I'm I really don't want people to send me something that means something to them, and then that USPS just throws it in the garbage because they are just not doing their job right. So now we got a better one. It's actually not set up yet. I went today. I mean, should I even tell you guys? I've already started. I gotta tell you guys now. So whenever you guys sign up for a PO box, they give you a little spiel where it's okay, you got to bring 2 forms of ID, and you got to bring this form that you got to fill out, in this form, it's just it's your basic info and whatever. But they also say, if you don't have a printer, don't worry. We would be happy to print it out for you at the location. One of our associates will help you. So I was okay, I'm not going to print it out because if they're going to print it for me, that's easier, and I'll know that they're printing the right one, and I'm not missing a form, whatever, right? I was if they're going to print it, that's fine. I went in, and they're no, we don't print anything for anybody. You're going to have to go home and do it. So that P.O. box was supposed to be set up, but I got lied to by the USPS website. Not the USPS workers, because I love that USPS. They are awesome. They are always helpful. But to the the dang website was lying. So, it is what it is. But that'll be set up soon. Okay, that whole time I was trying to refresh my page because my page froze, as you guys know. Firefox can't handle the heat that long. But now I got it fixed, finally. Now I can see what you guys are saying. But yeah, Cloud Lizard, so you got the white background one, cool. Yeah, so I opened a lot of those guys. I opened a lot of ST29 because the promos were really cool, and I wanted to get all the promos, and I did successfully get all of them. I have all of them, but I also sent a few of those alt Luffys in for grading as well because they looked really clean. And I was trying to get the first one I got was really bad condition, so I was let me go buy some more boxes to try pulling some more, and I got 2 or 3 from the next set of boxes I got. So I got a bunch of those now. But that Luffy is beautiful. I'm a huge fan of it. If I play that deck, I will probably use the bad condition one I got as my leader. I have a lot of alt arts and stuff that I really want to use just to flex a little bit. I actually bought My Era Begins yesterday. the manga alternate event card with Blackbeard. I bought that yesterday with store credit because they had it at my LGS, and I've traded in way too much Pokemon stuff. I pretty much gave up not all, but a lot of my Pokemon cards because I was like, One Piece is way better, both as an investment and just for me personally. Like, One Piece scratches the itch that Pokemon cards was itching, but even more because it's One Piece. So I transferred a lot of my Pokemon stuff over. So I got My Era Begins yesterday. You can use graded leaders in game. You can use graded. No way. There's no way they're gonna let you use. I mean, it makes sense because like it's not like that has to have like a sleeve on it. You know, like it doesn't matter for the leader. If they let you use graded leaders, that's wild. They should. There's no reason not to, but I wouldn't expect that. Dude, if they let me use a graded leader, I'm about to buy. I don't know. I don't want to spend because like I don't have a bunch of decks, so I don't want to spend a ton of money on any one deck other than Foxy. I'll spend all the money on Foxy, or Laboon. I don't think Laboon has a leader card yet, but I believe Brook is getting a leader card, right? I think Brook is getting a leader in OP 15 or 16. I've seen them in videos of people at locals at least. Dude, that's so funny. Because like I said, I do have an alt Luffy leader that's non-graded, so like I don't have to do that. But if they do, then I can get really fancy with some of my other graded cards. Yeah, Brook new leader confirmed. And he's got a fun all or nothing mechanic. I love it. That's what he should have as like a guy who died and came back. It would kind of make sense that he can like, you're risking your life with the way that his play style is, you know? So yeah, have they released the art for the Brook alternate leader, if there is one? I think I saw the regular leader, but I don't know if they've revealed the alt leaders. I would assume there is going to be one for Brook. But I'll definitely have to get a Brook deck whenever that happens. That's for sure. Hold on, wait. I'm looking at the right thing. ACOP CCTV with the $5 super chat. Appreciate you. Getting back into the manga talk real quick. I know we dipped over the TCG for a little bit, and we might rope back, but thank you for bringing us back to the manga talk for a little bit. I'm late, but do you think any of the Gorosei show up? I don't know why Ibu thinks the Gods Knights can get the job done after what went down on Egghead. That's a very good point, and I think that also opens like another discussion of like are the Gods Knights like a bigger threat than the Gorosei? Because like we just had all 5 Gorosei and Egghead, and we were able to get out of there. Now we got 3 Gods Knights here. Now Emu is here, so that's like, you know, a whole other layer. But aside from Emu, it's like, are we supposed to be more afraid of 3 Gods Knights than 5 Gorosei? Like that's, you know, that's like how it feels. So I don't think the Gorosei are going to pull up for that reason, because since Oda's already created this mayhem with just a few Gods Knights, I don't really know if the Gorosei are going to necessarily like change a lot. I think if they did show up, it might be a little bit later on, because like we did get that comparison with Elbaf creatures and the Gorosei. I think it was Dory and Brogy were like, oh, these guys are as big as the creatures on Elbaf. And so seeing the Gorosei fight against those creatures on Elbaf would be just kind of cool, just because it's cool. But thematically, like we were saying, the Gorosei, if they couldn't stop us at Egghead, I don't really know if them showing up here is going to be like that big of a difference. So I would say probably not. If there is any Gorosei that are going to show up, it would be Garling, because we haven't seen his transformation yet, assuming he has one, which I think he probably does. Just from Oda's perspective, it'd be really cool to give him a transformation. That's where I think we're going to see Fenrir most likely. But yeah, I think this is a Gods Knights centric thing, because even if Garling showed up, I think we still kind of think of him as a Gods Knight because he just became a Gorosei, so he'd be like a pseudo Gods Knight in that way anyway. So I think this is a Gods Knight centric arc. So I think we're gonna see, if any, it'll be Garling, but I'm not even sure if that'll happen. Garling might just stay in the Holy Land, because that's a whole other thing, right? With the Holy Land on fire, can the Gorosei even afford to leave? Like, they told Shamrock he's got to get back there, so the Gorosei probably need to keep tabs on that. So, like I said, Garling at the most is where I'm at. Cloud Lizard can't use graded leaders in official tournament level. Yeah, that might make sense. Like, they should let you, because that would just... It would let people be way more comfortable with flexing. And I think that is, like, a positive for the TCG, just to, like... Somebody brings out, like, a... I don't even know what leaders are worth a lot. Like, maybe, like, a pre... Well, I was going to say a pre-errata card, but I don't even know if you can use them. Now they're about to be out of rotation anyway, but... You know, it would let people bring their slabbed cards to tournaments and not be worried about, like, them getting damaged there and losing value, right? So, I think they should, but that would be so... Just visually, for me, it'd be so funny to see a graded card there, but that would be also a good way to sort of meld the worlds of grading and playing a little bit so that people don't feel, like, boxed into one or the other, so I would like it. I would like it. They say to just wear the graded card in a necklace and play with the standard leader. That you know what? That's what that might be what I do. If I when I get to nationals, when I'm on TV, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna wear it. I'm gonna wear it on my chain, like which I know a lot of people don't like him, but and kind of me too. But Logan Paul, I think he wore the Illustrator Pikachu on his chain at the... Was it like the YouTube boxing thing or whatever? You know, I'll do that, but much more, you know, positive and family friendly. You won't hear me go, Luffy D Monkey. You know, I won't be. I'll definitely be a good ambassador for the game. Dak to Nats, dude. Listen, I think it'd be fun. I think it'd be really fun to, like, actually go hard and try. I don't know, like, all that goes into it, but I am trying. Like, I'm learning. I want to be good at this. If I'm gonna play, I'm trying to win. I'm not there just to, you know, like, because my LGS, the way they do the pre-orders now, which I was able to pre-order EBO3, by the way, so I will be able to open a box on the channel for that. But the way they do it is, like, if you're a regular player, then they let you do pre-orders, like they let you do one box or whatever, but then regular people who are just buying just for fun have to buy, like, individual packs and stuff. It makes a lot of sense. I'm very supportive of the system. So that's driven me to play, but I don't want to play just to fill the box, you know, like, I want to be good. So now that I'm going at all, I got to be good. So I'm down. Like I said, I want to play on some OPTCG sim. I want to get some of you guys on there. And I also want to get like other creators to play. I think that'd be really fun. Have, like, a little tournament of creators on OPTCG Sim. Debus, you said, I don't know if you'd want to play blue, purple Luffy, but one of the cards I'm sending you might be a leader you might want to use for that leader. Maybe. I don't know enough to really even say what I want to try out. You know what I mean? Other than Foxy, of course. Like, I kind of like Foxy's mechanic of slowing the game down, but then it's funny because, like, I was practicing with it to, like, learn how it works, and I was playing against some other random decks, and some of those I was like, well, I kind of like that one. I kind of like that one. I kind of like that one. So I don't know, but I'll definitely check it out whenever you send it. And thank you again for sending those, and sorry again for all the confusion. Obviously that was out of both of our hands, but regardless, that's still annoying to deal with. So thank you, but super excited to see your cards. I've also seen like a lot of people kind of promoting or showing off certain proxy card. I couldn't think of the word. Certain proxy cards that are really, really cool. And so I think there's a I think there's definitely, like, a market for, you know, people like those. Analytic Media, you said for $2 you said sent it. All right, let's go ahead and see. Let's go ahead and see what you sent. There it is. I don't see it. Maybe I just haven't gotten it yet. Which usually it's, like, instant, right? I see. Wait. Oh, nope. That is a different. I saw the word analytic, and I was like, oh, is that you? No, that is just a random person soliciting about my YouTube analytics. I don't see it yet. I am on the right email, right? I am. I don't see it. I'll keep an eye on it for the next few minutes before we wrap the stream up. If not, I will definitely reply to you whenever I get it. I was hoping I'd see it so we could talk about it here, but I don't see it yet. I'll keep refreshing every minute or two and see if it shows up here soon. Let's see. I'll send you a sneak peek on Discord. Oh yeah, I'm doing numbers that pay almost as well as my desk job every month now. That's awesome, dude. Congratulations. And like I was telling you, you gotta add the laser etched binders, right? That's what they were. You gotta add those to your arsenal, man. That's where the money's at. If you can start laser etching like whatever manga panels and stuff people want, you're gonna really be cooking. But that's awesome though that it is doing well for you. Like, I think we talked about it too, but if you made a Loki card right now, and I know obviously we're about to get the fruit reveal, so that's gonna be a whole thing. But if you had Loki cards this whole time, those would have been selling like crazy. And just so everybody knows, these are proxies, like they aren't real cards, and he definitely markets it as that. It's just people like getting their own kind of custom cards and stuff, right, with like their own art, and like it just looks cool for display purposes. And so that's what Debus is doing, and it's awesome. The cards are amazing. They're super duper cool. In deck boxes, yes. I actually just went and bought like a light purple deck box and a yellow deck box, which I got to be honest, I was thinking the whole time, I don't like that I'm buying Lakers colored deck boxes because, you know, I'm not a big Lakers guy, but I got to have a purple for the Foxy deck, and I got a yellow because I think I was going to do the ST29 deck, so I was like, they match. But it did pain me to buy the Lakers gear. I should have got wine and gold for the Cavs, you know. Adam L. Wait, hold on. Wait. I swear my my browser just does not like it when I stream more than 2 hours. Adam L 8324. Welcome to the Afro Gang, my friend. Thank you so much for joining. Seriously, I appreciate it. And then you said FTL. If that stands for what I think it stands for, I agree. Actually, one funny thing, well, not funny, honestly, it's not that funny, but one maybe amusing thing about the Lakers and the Cavs is, you know, the Lakers played the Cavs the other day. The Cavs beat them by like 30 points, but unfortunately, I don't know if you guys, anybody who watches the NBA probably heard about this, but like Luka like fell, like we have like an elevated court, the Cavs do, and Luka like fell off of it and like hurt his foot a little bit, and so now there's been all this talk about, you know, the Cavs have like dangerous court and stuff, which they're probably right. But I just think it's just kind of unfortunate. Like I said, it's amusing because Luka's okay, but all of a sudden, because Luka had some trouble with the court, now the Cavs have to go change their court, and it's the worst thing in the NBA is, you know, talking about changing it ASAP this season, so none of this happens. But like we've been playing on it for years, and nobody said anything. But then Luka gets hurt, and then now, and again, and I agree with it. I'm completely okay with changing our court because it is dangerous for our players. But I just think it's like kind of amusing. Like Luka twists his foot a little bit, and now everything's got to change. We move mountains for Luka, but when anybody else gets hurt, Drew Smith tore his ACL last year on our court, and nobody even talked about it. Anyway, you know, it is what it is. It is what it is. It's all right. I would definitely be down to change the Cavs court because it is dangerous, but poor little Luka. Hey, you know, the Lakers got Luka. They can't complain about nothing. You know, they got Luka. They got to borrow LeBron from us for a while. Although we're about to get him back next season, I think. The homecoming, the farewell tour. All right, guys. Real quick, Analytic Media. I'm going to check one more time just for your... I still don't see the email. Let me go to, like, spam. Not that it even should go in there. Well, it doesn't say Analytic Media. I think I see what your real name is. But I think I see it. Oh, but Analytic Media is the email. I see your other name, but I'm not going to say that one. Yeah, so that one, so you're definitely right that one you're showing, like, it doesn't look like any one specific Gorosei, but if you go to the manga panel, like, I think the anime was just taking their best guess off the manga panel, because, like, Oda did not make the silhouette very clear. You know what I mean? And so I think the anime was just making their best guess based off what they were seeing, less than like them having a secret. Now I could be wrong. I could be wrong on that. Let me show the thing you're talking about. Hold on. Let me show it to everybody else. Please work. Yes. I did not want to have to go through the rigmarole of getting it a different way. I'm glad it dragged and dropped. So here, you know what? Yeah, there we go. Yeah, so this guy, like, he's almost like if Saturn and Mars merged into one person. But like I was saying, I think this is just the anime taking their best guess at the manga panel. Because the manga panel, I don't want to show the manga panel because that'll get cooked with. Or at least too high of a risk to get cooked with. But that one, like, he's not even looking like that. He's looking down, right? Like, that's not even the, like, the pose that he's in. So I think the anime was just taking their best guess because they didn't know who it was, right? They didn't know which Gorosei, and I think they were just kind of vague about it. And again, I could be wrong. We could be looking at this in a few months, years at this point, probably. And what we could look back at it and say that that you were onto something. But I mean, I look at this as just the anime taking their best stab at what the guy looks like. Yeah, I really want to pull the panel over, but I can't risk it. And I know the live reaction streams get more attention from the powers that be than normal things because, like, we're talking about the new chapter and, like, we're actually reading the scans and all that. So I don't want to risk anything, but yeah, because the panel is kind of obscured. Like, we just see the nose and then you can't see the beard or anything. So yeah, I think the anime just didn't know, because it is kind of funny if you look back at the panels before that. Like, they show the Gorosei around the Denden Mushi, and you very clearly see Topman on the left, Jupiter in the back, and then Mars to the right. And then the next time they show it, you just see the who we believe now is Saturn, but you can't really tell. You just see a new face on the right that's just like the nose and the mustache, and they're like reacting with just ... And then you see them again, and they're like, I see, that's quite an audacious hypothesis, but you still can't really fully see them. I can definitely see Saturn here now, but at the time I could see why people weren't sure. And then you just see him looking down, and it's like just the nose. Like, it is pretty obscured. The way it's paneled, it looks like you see 3 of the Gorosei, then a random new one comes in and starts talking, and so you're like, who is that one? And it is weird the way they did it, but like I said a few times, I think that's just Saturn, and they just didn't know in the anime. But this definitely doesn't look like Saturn or Mars for sure. So you're definitely right that this does not look like either of them. That's for dang sure. That the anime did not depict it accurately. But all right, guys. I think I'm about to wrap it up here. We're at about 2 hours. Again, it froze, so the internet just wants me to end this. But I think I am going to end it here. So thank you guys, as always, for everything. Redacted video should be out in a couple days. That's the goal, at least. My goal from now on is to, like, record Friday night or Saturday morning, and then post the actual redacted video on Sunday when the chapter drops with the official. That's like my ideal situation. Not sure if it'll actually happen, but yeah, thank you guys. Yeah, I'll see you guys next week, finally, because we actually don't have a break for once, which is awesome. So Alexander Fiorello, real quick before we get out of here. Super random, but even a year later, I can't get over how much I love Frankie seeing the mural. Such an incredible way to introduce it. I agree, man. The way the whole mural thing went down, right, was just so awesome. Like I don't know, the way it was all introduced, and then seeing Frankie like kind of react at it like very surprisingly, and then he's in front of it, and we're actually still sitting here wondering, oh, what is Frankie blocking something at the bottom of the tree? Is there like an entrance into the tree that we don't know about that Frankie's blocking? Like, it was just I don't know, it's such a cool thing, you know. And then like, because like Frankie looking at the mural is like the same way we are looking at it in a way, you know. And I think that's just so cool to like replicate that kind of emotion. Like he's so like shocked, and so are we whenever we see it. Like we actually see his reaction first, and then we dip over to him sitting in front of it. And it's like that really gives us the scope of like how big it is and like why he was so shocked at the time. So yeah, and actually we're not that far away to that getting adapted in the anime. You know, like we're kind of a ways away in terms of time because now we're bi-weekly with the anime and they're seasonal and all this kind of stuff. But like chapter-wise, we're like 12 chapters away, 12 episodes away. We're at like, what, 1127 chapter-wise, and that happened at 1138, so we're like 11 or 12 episodes. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. Yeah, incredible way to introduce it. You're right. The anime is going to cook like crazy when that happens. It's going to cook. It's going to be some special episodes, seriously. I seriously can't wait. All right, hold on. Analytic Media, I saw your other pictures you sent. I mean, well, hold on. What'd you say last? Hold on. Same guy, one sec. I have another still. Yeah, it's like that's just the anime, you know, taking their best guess at who the manga is depicting. But if you look at the manga, it's definitely, at least from what I'm looking at, it's definitely Saturn. And so I mean, it could be that the anime, like that Oda's like that Oda retconned it a little bit, but I mean, I definitely lean much more towards the anime. Just wasn't sure who the silhouetted figure was because they don't say any names, right? Like, well, we didn't even know the Gorsei's names until recently, so they wouldn't have said anything. But they didn't even really like acknowledge who this new guy was. He just kind of walked in and started talking halfway through. And at least for me now, whenever I look in the manga, it's pretty clear. But again, if we're wrong, we're gonna come back here in Analytic Media. I'm gonna ship a bouquet to your house. But at least from what I'm seeing, that I think that's just the anime just struggling to adapt which Gorosei it was. Because I think up to this point, we only saw the Gorosei. Did we even see the Gorosei yet? Now that I think about it. Okay, yeah, we saw them for the first time. Wait, hold on. Let me actually look this up. Because sometimes the first reveal like things on Google are a little weird. Hold on. Let me look this up. Nope, not the right one. Let's see. Okay, yeah. So we did meet them in full before this, but we didn't learn their names or anything, but we saw their 5 designs. So, because then if you go back to chapter 395, like you can see Saturn with the. I gotta scroll back down. Where's it at? You can kind of like, I mean, obviously the nose and the mustache, but you can even see like his little skull cap thing. So I think it's just the anime was just confused or something at the time, or maybe they like purposefully obscured it. I mean, it could be that Oda changed his mind. Now we're cooking a theory, but you can definitely go ahead and send a full written out theory via email for sure. I just saw that for sure. Go ahead and do that. I don't know what it is. But my room just got really hot. I don't know if the heat's been on, but I am like sweating like crazy now. But yeah, definitely send a full written out theory for sure. And then also Figment. This is the last one. Then I'm gonna go. I think my chat froze again. I'm not sure, but I mean, I really thought that Nidhogg was Loki, considering there's a panel where Loki has his tongue hanging out in a very similar fashion. Yeah, that to me is like a definite. That's the kind of foreshadow that Oda does. Because like Loki, we first seen with the tongue out. We see that dragon with his tongue out, and now we're seeing the dragon again. Harudine's reacting. He's gonna be a Nidhogg. It kind of would have been cooler if he was this Nidhogg from this chapter, because like he just like that's how we got the reveal, is there's just a giant dragon like wreaking havoc over all the everyone else. But the first time we saw that dragon, he had his tongue out also. And I wonder if the reason the kid has a nightmare about a Nidhogg who has his tongue out is because Loki has turned into a Nidhogg and had his tongue out and he scared the kid before, right? That's kind of what I'm guessing. Because even on like cover pages, he's had the tongue out. Like every time Oda's drawn this thing, pretty much. Because there's, I mean, this one specifically he's only drawn an Elbat, but there's other dragons he's drawn who's had the tongue out, and so I think it's definitely a Loki thing. It's got to be. If not, then Oda was definitely misleading us on purpose, you know. But all right, guys, I'm actually gonna get out of here this time. Like I said, my room got really hot, and I need to go downstairs because it is like unbearably hot. So thank you guys as always. Redacted video should be out in a couple days. Obviously a reaction next week. I really doubt I'll have a video out on this chapter or anything in the next few days. I think I'm gonna kind of take a little bit of time off and get some other stuff situated. But yeah, actually I also have a few card opening videos that won't be posted on this channel, but maybe on Redacted, where I've opened some One Piece cards just on my own, not on a stream, just for fun, but I did record it in case I got some hits, and I did get a few hits, so I might post those on Redacted as well in case you're interested in watching that kind of stuff. But all right, now it's time to actually go. So thank you guys. Have a great weekend. Have a safe weekend as well, especially with everything going on in the world. Please be extra, extra safe. You know, it doesn't seem the world's getting any safer, unfortunately, so please be safe, especially if you're going to go out there and use any of your First Amendment rights. Definitely, I encourage you to do so, but do so peacefully, and just be safe. That's